looks like I've got the software issue sorted out. Now they've made some interesting changes to the game to Space Engineers. So I'm gonna run through it here, and I'm gonna show you right from the get, right from the loaded starting screen, because this game has really beautiful graphics, and I want you to see them. So here we go. So this is Space Engineers. I don't know if the game sounds are too loud. Let me know, and I'll turn them down. But this is the loading screen, and this is where you start. So we're going to go ahead and just start a new game. We recommend that you view these tutorial links, which as you access these tutorials from the help screen. Don't show me that again. I don't need you to teach me how to play this game. I don't play the scenarios. I like this custom system. It's a star system. It's a generic world with the planets, the moon, asteroids galore. I never play in creative mode. I don't find it fun. I have developed some ship designs in creative mode because I wanted to see whether or not I like the way they would look, but I always play in survival mode. And the stupid app lost the connection to the software again. Naturally. Why would the damn app ever work properly? I mean, you know, who wants a stupid app that works? And they were horse's ass enough to ask me to rate their software. How about a 1 star for epic fail, you dinks? I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to tell you how I really feel. All right. So, I don't need to name the game. I don't think. Let's see. See if I have any saved files. Load game. Nope. I don't have any saved files. I haven't played this game on this computer. That's right. Duh. Okay, so we're going to make a new game. Custom. Down here. Now, I don't need to name it because I only play one game at a time. I don't have multiple games going here. And let's see. Description, don't need to. Survival. Online mode, this is where you can choose whether or not you want to have players, like friends, join. I am not going to run in public. I would never, ever run in public because I'm not stupid. You can set it to be offline, which is what I'm going to be playing today. Private, only invited players can join, and friends, anybody on my friends list on Steam can right click my name and join the game that I'm playing if I set it to that, which I'm not. These are awesome autosaves. Um, there are times, and I wish that 7 Days to Die had this feature, even in single player would be nice. But there are times when you do something you didn't intend, you break a block that you didn't intend, or something disastrous happens, and test flights, a lot of times bad things happen. You can go back into the autosave folder and load up a previous version of the game before you hit the launch button. Because if you launch and you crash and everything you own was on board that ship, you have to start all over again, and that sucks balls, especially if you've got like 10-15 hours into it. So we're going to go to advanced options, advanced settings. I'm going to bump this up to max, the inventory size, because the default size is ×3, so you can carry like 1,200 liters of material, which isn't enough to build fucking anything really. So I crank it up to 10. That gives you the capacity to carry a bunch of stuff, but not so much that you don't need to build a welding ship. All right. Assembler efficiency, I'm going to leave that at default. Refinery speed, default. Welding speed, grinding speed. Environment hostility. Now, you can set this for meteors. I don't like the meteors. And it's not because they're dangerous, because, within an hour of play, you could have a couple of Gatling turrets on your base to protect it from falling meteors. But every time a meteor hits the ground, it damages the ground. It damages the voxels, which then creates video lag because, as previously discussed, any voxel-based game where you've got voxel damage, every voxel that gets damaged has to be rendered every time you leave or enter the area. So it creates too much lag. So I turn the meteors off because they're really unnecessary. Now, when the meteors land, they do tend to have valuable resources in them, but not much. So you can get a little bit of platinum, you can get a little bit of uranium in those, gold, silver, and the like. But most of the time, it's iron and nickel and cobalt, and I mine that stuff en masse very quickly. So, asteroid amounts, I am going to crank this up, or not. Lowest density, low density, infinite, normal density. They got rid of high density? You dinks. Okay. Limit world size unlimited. View distance 15 kilometers. I think that's more than enough. Cooldowns disabled on respawn ships. I shouldn't need a respawn ship, but I'm going to leave the cooldowns disabled just in case. Enable sun rotation. You can actually turn off day and night so that it's never day or never night, depending on which part of the planet you build on. But I'm going to let sun rotation go because why not? 2 hours day rotation. Max objects. I'm dropping this down to 50. This is how many floating objects can be in the game at once, like rocks, parts and pieces of ships that blow off if you have explosions or if you get shot at in space, that kind of stuff. So, excuse me. Max ship size. The maximum size of a single grid will be 50,000 blocks. I don't think I've ever come close to that number. Max blocks per player is 100,000. Total PCU. PCU is processing computer units. And everything in this game has a PCU value. Everything that you build or can build or make has a PCU value. And basically the way it works is the bigger the impact is on the server or on the computer that's processing and running the game, the higher the PCU load. So you have a limited amount. It's a resource that you have to manage, your PCU. And basic blocks like armor blocks, like building blocks, have 1 PCU. But there are others that are, more graphic intensive that have a higher PCU value. I don't remember what the highest PCU value is, but the bottom line is you can get the game to run pretty clunky on a less than optimal computer if you have a high PCU use. But I think this computer can handle the 100,000 PCU. Let's see, max backup saves. This is the maximum number of files that it will keep. So once I've got it set to 5. I've never needed more than that. You can set it to like 20 if you want, or I don't know, is there a maximum? 1,000. So you can have 1,000 save files on your computer, backing you up basically from day one because it auto saves like every 5 minutes or something like that. 5 is all you need. And of course I messed with it, so now I have to. Let's see. There we go. Use the arrow keys to move the slider one at a time. Optimal spawn distance is disabled because I'm not playing multiplayer. But what that does is when you have friends on your friends list, they'll spawn within a certain distance of you, a few kilometers, instead of on the other side of the planet where they can spawn if you're not optimal spawn distance. Auto healing I'm leaving on because, yeah, damage is a thing in this game. You take damage from falling. You take damage when you walk in front of a hot welding head. There's all kinds of ways to take damage in this game without ever getting shot. So, yeah, I'll leave the auto healing on. Thank you. That I've not checked this, and it still tells me when I'm going to build on my spawn ship that it's going to delete if I log out. So I don't know why that is even a thing. Player names thruster damage. This means that when your thrusters when you accelerate with your thrusters, they can actually damage your ship if you build in front of the exhaust. That's realistic. I always leave that on. Weapons enabled, I leave it on because, if I don't, then I can't shoot back at the pirates when they spawn. Destructible blocks. This actually means like if you're cutting off a part of your ship in gravity and like a battery falls and it lands on another part of your ship, it can actually cause more explosions and chain explosions. It really sucks, but it's realistic, so I leave that on. Tool shake voxel hand. I've never used this, But in creative mode, you can like scoop out earth and ground using voxel hands. I've never used it. I don't even know what the command is for it. Yeah, I'll leave that alone. Airtightness. This one is important because on multiplayer servers, this is really hard for the server to calculate airtight. But on single player, it's easy. The game has no problem running it. So this just lets you build a ship with, like a cockpit or an area where you don't have to wear your helmet. I hardly ever open my helmet because then I forget to close it before I go out into space and I start suffocating. It sucks. So, oh, we have to turn on experimental mode in order to have some of this stuff. But I don't like this option, unsupported stations, because that means that you can build a space station in gravity, or you can build a station in gravity. You can build a base that's not connected to the ground in any way, and I don't like that. I don't think that's realistic. So I'm going to leave that. Spawn with tools, yes. Enable drones, yes, because I want to be able to build drones. Spiders, the AI nasties in this game are stupid and they suck, so I leave them off. Subgrid damage, I don't do. Unknown signals, these are like supply drops in 7 Days to Die. They're just random drops that just pop in on occasion. Progression, I am going to, I don't know, should I leave that on for the first time I play on the new computer? I'll leave it on because progression is important. This is how you learn how to play. You have to build certain things in order to unlock higher level tech. Bounty contracts, yeah, whatever. I never use super gridding. I don't even understand it. The weather system, I'm turning off. The reason is because in a recent update, they added lightning storms, and the lightning storms can strike your ships and your base, and they do a lot of damage. So I don't like it. Plus, it causes lag. Economy, there is money in the game. There are NPC stations that you can sell stuff at and buy stuff at, so I'm going to leave that on. Auto respawn, I'm just going to disable that. I like choosing my spawn point, and you'll see what I mean when I'm in the game. Respawn ships, we'll leave those on. Enable friendly missile damage. I'm leaving that off. Remote block removal is important. You'll see that when we come in. Voxel destruction, leave that on. Jetpack, you can fly in this game if you have your jetpack with hydrogen. I leave that on. Convert to station, I like to leave on because you can switch a ship from a ship to a station, which then it uses much less fuel and much less power. So, yeah. And some of the power blocks, like the wind turbines, they won't work on a ship. It has to be on a station. So, oxygen, we're going to enable. Random encounters, yeah, we'll leave that on. And cargo ships we'll leave on because I'm not going to spend a lot of time in space early on. So, okay, so that's all of our options. So let's get started. Did you know pressurized environments will maintain optimal temperatures and recharge your health and oxygen? As a matter of fact, I did know that. I did. Because I'm a smart cookie. Not really, but I've played this game before. So we load in. The game is paused. Not sure why. Oh, right, because I have to choose. Okay, so I can choose to drop in an Earth-like drop pod. They don't say Earth because it's not actually planet Earth. It's an Earth-like planet. I can start on the moon. Now it says difficulty hard, but it really isn't because the hardest part about the moon is oxygen, and there's ice all over the moon. So, alien drop pod drops you down on an alien planet. The gravity is slightly stronger, so you use more hydrogen when you're trying to fly with your jetpack, and the oxygen level is 10%, so you cannot run around with your helmet open. But I don't like the alien planet. I think they're ugly. Titan drop pod. Titan is their newest planet, and it's an ice planet. I can't remember. Hoth, I think, was the name of the planet in Star Wars. It was just a giant ball of ice. Mars drop pod. Mars isn't difficult. There's no oxygen. The gravity is slightly lower. Um, and the resources, they're a little bit harder to spot. I'll show you what I mean when we get in game, but I'm not going to start on Mars. Europa is another planet. I think it's mostly water, or actually it would be mostly ice, because all the water in this game is ice, by the way, because it's easier graphically to render ice, which is a solid object, than water, which flows and moves and would eat up a lot of memory. Triton, I don't know what Triton is. What is that? Let's see. Do we even get to see? Triton is an oxygen-rich environment planet. Okay, so it's another planet. You can start in space. This one is really hard because you start in the middle of space. You're like 300 kilometers from Earth, and the advantage to starting in space is these thrusters here are ion thrusters, and they're made of they have platinum in them. So you can grind down your thrusters, and you'll be able to make more advanced tools. But oxygen is a problem. You have to find an asteroid with ice on it, and you do have to do that first. And usually, like, you'll find everything you need but the oxygen. So, or you can just spawn in just a spaceship, or a spacesuit, which means you spawn up in the atmosphere of the planet, and then you start falling, and you have to turn on your jetpack before you hit the ground, or you will splat. So, I'm going to start in an Earth-like drop pod. And then you click on respawn. Now you can choose faction selection before you join the game. So if you're playing in multiplayer, you start a faction and then your friends join the game. They can join the faction before they spawn in, which then uses that optimal spawning distance thing to spawn you in with your friends. So, but I'm going to be playing all by my onesie. Ooh, that's really loud. Let's turn that down. That's still really loud. There we go. Hopefully that's better. Okay, tell me how the game sounds are for you, Silent, because that was really super loud for me. So I'm just looking around to see what's around me before I land. And the respawn pod does have a parachute that deploys when you get to, I think it's 1,000 meters. And it has landing gear on the bottom, which are magnetic. As soon as they touch something that they can stick to, they will activate and lock so that you don't go rolling down the hill forever, which has happened and is apparently going to happen here. Nope, not quite. Okay, so we'll zoom in here. All right, so that's me. That's my awesome lightning green spacesuit. Okay. And as you can see, my pod did land like a stupid. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about it until I can replace that seat because that's a passenger seat. You can't actually use it to control the ship and fly. It's just a place for you to strap in so you don't die when you land. That's all it is. And it's got some storage in it. Oop. I gotta get used to my buttons again. F to enter. Is that F? No. Wait. I gotta remember what my freaking buttons are now. Press I. No, that's not it. These are turning. No, that's not it. Damn it. That's crouch. Okay, hang on a sec. I gotta check my game options. Controls. Okay. No, I don't want controllers. Movement. Okay, here we go. character. Hold to sprint. Toggle walk up, jump, crouch. Okay. Block placement. Can't use symmetry in survival mode. You can only use it in creative, which kind of sucks. Cube size toggle button. Oh, that's no good. Miscellaneous. Okay. Well, where the frick is it? Third person zoom speed, mouse sensitivity, and oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, secondary mode. Use interact is F. So which is my F button? That one. Is that F? Okay, I gotta check something real quick. That's left click. Yeah, that's my F key. Okay, so this should work. Boy, so annoying to set things up when you first start playing. Okay, systems and interactions. Okay, so we need to inventory. Okay, that should work. Oh wait, that one. There we go. Right click to remove binding. Yes, there we go. Okay. All right, and I think that's it. All right, so let's try this. There we go. Okay. Damn it. Fucking thing. What's going on? The chair has a freaking inventory. There we go. Okay, so here's a gun that you can see. You can double click it. I'll show you the data pad, but first I'll show you the gun. Oops. Right. In order to do stuff on this, you have to open the G menu and select what you want to put on your toolbar. This is how you customize your toolbar, by the way. So we'll go to character weapons, select the automatic rifle. And that's it. That's the only weapon you get, hand weapon you get in this game. It is fun, but it's pretty boring as far as guns go. Like, this is not a shooter game, by the way. If you're waiting for action and shooting, you're probably going to be leaving this stream because it is super, super not active, not action gaming. You can aim. You can in multiplayer. You can do base raiding. I've played faction wars in this game. It is a lot of fun. A multiplayer faction war is a lot of fun, but the replay value of it is fairly low. So, you know what? I'm gonna change a control here. Just hang on. Let's see. So I'm gonna actually go with this. Oops. Oops. No, I don't want to do that. Not mouse, keyboard. So inventory, we're going to keyboard that. The pressed key may not be assigned to controls. Well, you know what? Fuck you. I want to. Okay, so it's I. All right. Well, there's more than one way to skin a cat. We'll change this button to an I key. Keyboard function I. I Lottie. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now then. To building. Now my pod landed stupid, and the only thing I can do is cut off that landing gear and hope that it falls backwards as opposed to rolling forward. So I'm going to try that. Don't need my light right now. So left click. There we go. So we got 2 landing gear to lock. I'm going to see if I can get that to unlock and have it fall down more. So where's the, oh God. I hate that they do this, and I don't know why they do. They hide these blocks in the terminal so you can't see them. And I like seeing everything on my ship. There we go. Okay, so where's the landing gear? Here. Unlock. I said unlock. Okay, that's the best I'm going to get. Alright. So the only way to level off this ship will be to put a piston on here and lift it up, basically, which I can do. Okay, this game is all about... I don't need that. This game is all about devising solutions, mechanical solutions to problems. Okay, that's what this game is about. So, this is my survival kit. So there's the inventory of the survival kit. There's nothing in it right now. My production tab, this is what I can make. I can make ingots, which is processing stone. As you can see, when you highlight this, it tells you what you need to make it. So in order to process 1 unit of stone, I need 100 for 1 cycle. And it will produce, this is the production queue. And these are unlimited, by the way. You can set this to produce as many different items as you want. It'll actually create multiple lines. It'll add more lines if you fill this. So I need 100 stone in order to run 1 cycle or do 1 run of ingots to produce. So I can make, in this thing, I can build computers, construction, composite, data pads, displays, girders, interior plate, motors, solar cells, and steel plates. Now this is everything you need for a basic survival of Space Engineers. You're going to need a lot more. This list gets really, really big as you get better production. This is the control panel of your grid. They're called grids. Okay, you've got small grids and large grids. Small grids are stuff like little ships, like fighter ships. If you want to do combat, you would use small grids because they're smaller, more maneuverable, and they cost less to build, so you lose less when they blow up. There's a lot of uses for small grids. I use small grids to make drones. Scouting drones, ore sniffing drones, that kind of stuff. I'll use small grid ships. Large grids are for big ships, and and for bases. Any base you build, any station you build, must be a large grid. There are blocks that belong to the large grid category and the small grid category, and there are things like refineries that cannot be built on a small grid. They have to be built on a large grid, so either a base or a station or a really big ship or rover. Okay, and they're very heavy and they're really expensive for materials. Okay, but this is the control panel that you access the grid. Now, what grid is the ship, the entity, or the it's the ship or the building that you build, or the base that you build, the entire grid. Okay, and that becomes important later. So we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But this is everything that's in it, and you can access and turn everything off and on from here. Okay, so I'm going to turn off all of my thrusters because they are off, but I'm going to turn them on and then off to make sure they're off, because then they're not consuming what little battery I have, because my battery power, it will be fully depleted in 8 hours. So I have 8 hours to build, and that's my current power use, current power consumption. That's going to drop once I start refining stone, okay, because the survival kit does consume power. The beacon I don't need on. It's off right now. But let's see. See, it's technically it's on anyway, because the respawn pod, you've always got a GPS marker to tell you where it is unless you turn it off. Okay. So we'll look here at GPS. See, this is my respawn pod. Now, if I move my pod, if I fly it to a new location, this will change. This data, the coordinates will change, and it does it automatically until I delete the respawn pod. So, very important that you don't delete this, because if you delete this, you might not be able to find your way back to your or to your base. So, we're gonna leave that. All right. So rather than try and run through an entire Space Engineers tutorial when it's easier to just show you in actual gameplay, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we've got, this is our hydrogen generation right here. This is ice. We need more of it. That's now nowhere near enough. I need a hydrogen bottle. That gives me more jetpack fuel. By the way, the jetpack fuel it's in the bottom left-hand corner there. I can't point at it with my mouse pointer because in order to get the mouse pointer, I have to pause, and then when I pause, all of that HUD goes away. But in the bottom left-hand corner, we've got, from the very bottom, we'll go up. You've got H2, that's hydrogen. You see the four bars, and then it's got 100 beside it. That means that my jetpack itself is at 100%. Then it's got a little tiny bottle icon above that. That means that I have at least I've got one bottle of hydrogen in backup. So I've got quite a bit of flying, but that burns fast when you're on a planet. The next one up is the lightning bolt. That's electricity. That's power, suit power. If that gets to 0, you can still die even on a planet, because the suit power controls your temperature. It can get very cold at night. Now you see that unknown signal that's showing up on my HUD? That is a GPS marker for one of those supply drops I was telling you about. So I'm not going to go for that right now because it's 867 meters away and I need to find some ice. So I'm going to turn on my jetpack and we're going to fly straight up. Whee! And we're going to see if we can find some ice. Okay, so there's a desert. Deserts are really good because they're flat-ish, and they're good places to build rovers. But I don't want to build in the desert today. That valley over there may have lakes in it, which are actually ice. Okay, now I was telling you about the resources. They're easier to spot in the desert, or they're hard to spot on Mars. You see those gray patches in the desert there? That's a resource. It's a buried resource of some kind. There's another one over there, and another one right there, and another one right there. So they're everywhere, okay? So you have to find those. In the green spots, like in the green areas, they're like black patches. They look like almost like oil patches. So they're a contrasted color. They're a contrasting color to the terrain around them, and they're relatively easy to spot. Now, once you've seen those and you want to know what's in them, because you can't tell what's in them from here, you equip your drill. Your drill is what you use to mine, and the drill has a very limited range ore detector on it. Okay, so you got to fly down really close to the surface, and sometimes it won't pick it up depending on how deep the resource is. But you fly really close to the surface, and then you'll see a marker appear. And that marker says that there's iron here, and there's nickel right there. So the iron is 14 meters down, and the nickel is when we get right over top of it, 14 meters down. So those two resources are really close. And where you find iron and nickel, you very often will find cobalt. Cobalt we need in order to make metal grids, which we need to make engines, thrusters, in order to fly. So I'm going to mark this with a GPS marker because this is important. So what we do is we new from current position, and then I name this one iron nickel. Okay, now that's saved, and I'm going to have it showing on my HUD. So I'm always going to be able to see that unless I turn it off. Okay, because I'm not looking for iron right now. I'm looking for ice, but it's important to know where your resources are. And there's no sprint in the air. When you're flying, you go your flying speed. That's it. What do we got here? Another iron deposit. And we'll run around a little bit and see if we can scare up some cobalt. No, this looks like it's just iron. Okay, well, we don't need another iron. We got one. The basic components of this game, the basic building blocks, you can get from stone. You'll get iron, nickel, and silicone from stone, but you'll get very little of it from the survival kit. It's very inefficient, resource inefficient. So, yep, there's a lake. So you lose a lot of material when you're building with, or when you're processing stone. You want to start processing ore as soon as you can. So this is nickel, silicone, and nickel. Nickel. Yeah, I don't want nickel. What I need is cobalt. I'll find it eventually. I may have to build an ore detecting ship, a scout ship. Something to note, by the way, is that when you build ore detectors, a small grid ore detector has a range of like 50 meters or something like that. The large grid ore detector has a range of like 150 meters. Ah, cobalt. Beautiful. Right, so we're going to mark this because we need cobalt. Mark for new from current position. Cobalt. Okay. I'm not going to bring any of this back right now because I don't need it right now. Right now what I need is ice for flight. And I've seen a lot of people playing this game, like streamers and whatnot, and they don't prioritize ice the first few minutes of their gameplay, and they run around a lot, which is like super inefficient. You fly, you can build faster, you can harvest faster. Like, why wouldn't you? So we're gonna, oopsie, got to set up a control for that because I need that. Control, movement, crouch, doink. There we go. Sorry, I like having a crouch button on my mouse. Okay, so now we can right click. There's two different ways to use the drill. Okay, right click. It drills a really big hole, but you get no resources. Okay, all it does is just chew a big tunnel. So if you're trying to, burrow through rock and you don't want to pick it up or whatever, that's what you would do, is you'd right click drill, or you can left click drill. Now, there are mods for this game, by the way. I don't use them. When you left click drill, this stuff just falls. It just creates resources. You have to hold F to pick it all up. But you don't have to press F. You just have to hold it and point your mouse pointer at what you're picking up. So let's see. We've got 2,000 ice. I'm going to get a little bit more. I don't want to grab too much because you can't fit that much into your ship. You have a very limited amount of inventory space to start. Okay, that's good enough. Actually, turn off my jetpack. I'm going to create a marker for the ice. Because without a marker, I'll have to jump up in the air again and search. I don't want to do that. So my pod is that way. Okay, so now we can go back. Now you can fly close to the ground and try and scout resources if your reactions are good, and I'm a little older, so my reactions aren't the greatest. I don't need to find any other resources right now because the ones that I needed to find I have found. So I'm going to stay up above. But you can fly close to the ground, keep your drill out, and spot other resources if you so desire. The thing is, if you collide with anything when you're at flying at speed in your jetpack, you will die. It will kill you. So your biggest threat in this game when you're on planet is you and gravity. Gravity, momentum, inertia, whatever you want to call it. Now there you do have inertia dampeners, okay, which if you aren't pushing any buttons, if you're not telling your suit to put you and move you in a particular direction, works the same with ships, then it will auto stabilize you and you'll hover. Okay, you can turn those off with the Z key, and then you just plummet. I don't like doing that, so I'm not going to. Now I am going to check out these resources that are closer to my pod to see what they are, because if I can get iron and cobalt and nickel closer to my pod without having to move it, then great. But my first priority was locating ice. Ooh, magnesium. This is actually good. So magnesium you need to make to make bullets, to make ammunition, which if you're going to go into space, you will need Gatling guns with bullets because pirates. They're an AI. They're not terribly bright, but they are relentless. And they make drones that are really nasty. Oh, new from current position. So we're going to call that mag. We can call it the full thing. Magnesium. Okay, so not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for silver or gold would have been good. Silver is needed for some mid-level stuff. Oh, look at that. We got iron right nearby. Sweet. Iron and nickel. Nice, because those are the most common building materials. We're going to need a lot of iron and nickel. Iron specifically, but you need iron and nickel to make motors, and you need motors to make a lot of stuff. Look at that. Iron is only 12 meters down. Okay, so I'm going to delete my iron and nickel marker because I don't need it. I've got one right here. New from current position. Iron. This this node of iron and nickel should be all I'd need to get off the planet if I want to get off planet, when I want to get off planet. So don't need the other one because my respawn pod is right over there. Yay. Okay. Coming in hot. Okay, so we're going to open up the Okay, we're going to open that up and we'll put the ice in there. See, I can't fit all the ice in there. So when you with the hydrogen, this is your O2 H2 generator. You put ice in here, it will chew the ice and produce oxygen and hydrogen in equal amounts. If you have someplace to store it connected to this H2O2 generator or O2 H2 generator, it will fill that storage device. You need a hydrogen tank or an oxygen tank. I don't have anything like that on the ship, so it won't chew through my ice and store it. I have to put my bottles in here and it will automatically fill them. Okay, so I have to find someplace to put this other 1.5K ice. Otherwise, it's going to take up quite a bit of room in my inventory. I forgot to show you this. This is you get one station for free. The location of one station for free. So you right click it, tells you where the station is. You click on create GPS marker, and then you can go into your GPS and you can see ISDW station, and we'll show this on HUD. That makes it a permanent marker. The gray means that it'll disappear if you don't save it. So show on HUD makes it a permanent marker. And how far away is that? It's on the other side of the goddamn planet. Literally, I'd have to core through the planet or fly around it to get to there. So yeah, I'm not going to be using that station. And that's the closest station. So in other words, it's the only NPC station on the planet. Fuckers. So we'll just mute that. There's no point in showing it. Oh, that unknown signal. Maybe you guys want to see what's in there. Let's go see what's in the unknown signal. Go and see what's in our first drop pod. And these things drop constantly. In space, they don't drop. They just spawn. They just become annoying as shit, especially when you ignore them. So it's got some space credits and some steel plates. They've got supplies in them. But what's really important is the button. Where's the button? Oh, button's not here. We're going to have to grind it. This thing's going to roll if I don't grind it quickly so that it flattens out. Oh, wait. No, it's on the other side. Okay, fall flat. Don't you dare roll. Okay, the unknown signal. This is a button. Okay, you push the button, and you can try your luck to get a new special item. This is like little gambling freebie thing. Oh, look, I got a rainbow suit. I feel so special. Okay, now we can grind this down. And thankfully, that irritating signal stops once you push the button too. I believe in this game, when you grind down an object, you get its full resource value back. As you can see on the right, as I grind these plates down, how the resources bar drops, that's me collecting all the resources. What is this? Parachute hatch, is there anything in it? No, okay. Okay, so what I picked up off of this thing was a bunch of parts, which we'll use. I did have some of my own parts in here in my inventory already, but we got some stuff which will help us build. And the cargo containers can very often have some really nice goodies in them. So we're gonna fly back to the base. I've got 8% hydrogen left. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Just keep going. Still got lots of health left for me to lose, damn it. You run out of fuel when you're flying and you plummet to Earth, and you still carry your forward momentum, so you can literally skip across the terrain getting killed. Oh, when you're on the ground, you can sprint. So my hydrogen bottle ran out, as you saw. So I have to run back home. And I've run out of fuel, like I wasn't paying attention, and I've run out of fuel like 20 kilometers from my pod or my base, and it is super, super embarrassing. All right, so the only storage I have on this ship right now is right here in this survival kit. And the thing about the storage is it will not store anything it cannot produce. So I can't put this small tube, I can't put that in there because I can't make it in here. So I can put this stuff in here, I can make that. I can't put ice in here. Won't let me. And I think I can put interior plate. Yeah, okay. And I can put that display. Okay, so I've put everything in there that I can. Now I'll put the rest in the captain or in the passenger seat for the time being.
Fuel critical.
Shut your donut hole. I'll put the gun back because I don't need that. I actually can drop this because I don't need it. I've used it. I'll put that in there. I'll put that in there, that in there. And I'll put the ice that I can fit it all in there. Okay, cool. Because I want my inventory to be as empty as possible. All right, so I got to go to my H2O2 generator here and use that. What is that? I don't need a freaking oxygen bottle. Why do I even have that? I'm going to drop it. When I need an oxygen bottle to go into space, I'll be able to make them by the dozen if I want. So, yeah. So I picked up the bottle. It was at 100%, but it dropped to 87 because it refilled my suit. So I had to put it back in there to get it back to 100%. Okay, so now we need to get some stone. Oh, hang on a sec. I'm going to get that off my toolbar. I set my toolbar up typically the same way every time. But for the moment, I don't really need to set it up that way because I don't have anything unlocked yet. Oh, the progression. So here we are. This is stuff that I'll be able to make eventually, but first I have to build stuff. So if I want to unlock the interior turrets, spotlights, medical room, dispenser, and everything below that, I have to build a basic assembler. Okay? And the basic assembler, when I build that, it'll unlock these trees. To unlock these trees, I have to build an interior light, or anything in this tree here, anything in this line here will unlock this line. Building anything in this line here will also unlock sound blocks and the jukebox, which I've never made. But when I build a basic assembler, it will unlock all of these. It'll also unlock the assembler, the regular full Monty assembler, and building an assembler will then unlock the modules that you could put on the assemblers. Okay, and it'll also unlock this stuff. So if you want to make something and you don't know how to make it, like you haven't unlocked it yet, you find it here in the progression. Like we'll go like this and rotor, and it'll take me to rotors somewhere. Oh, here we go. So if I want to unlock rotors, okay, this will show me what tree it's in. And then I find out that in order to unlock rotors, I need to either make a battery or a small battery. And to unlock the battery or small battery, I need to build the basic refinery. Very, very easy, very logical, very simple. But the basic refinery is something that is obviously it's high on the priority list to build because we need to build one in order to unlock multiple techs. So we can do it a number of different ways. I'm just going to dig up some stone right here. You can get a mod for this game that will allow you to auto pick up whatever you drill. But I mean, if you double left click, you turn on your drill until you turn it off, until you left click again or right click. And same with the grinder, same with the welder. So you don't have to hold your mouse button down. You just double click when you're doing a lot of digging like this. Okay? So I just hold down the F key. It's not that hard. Inventory full. All right, so we've picked up all the stone we can, 10,000 liters of stone. So now we'll come over here to the survival kit. Oop, wrong button. There we go. And we'll put this in. It'll only hold 2,700 liters. Okay, so one cycle of 100 stone gives me 3 iron ingots, 3 kilograms of iron ingots, 0.24 kilograms of, yes, this is all in metric. If you don't like the metric system, you might not like this game. But it's really easy stuff. It's easy to figure out. So you get 0.24, so about a quarter of 1 kilogram of nickel and 0.4 silicone, so just under half of a kilogram of silicone. That's what you get for one cycle of stone. Okay, so we're going to go to production, and what I do is I queue up I queue up 10,000. And the way you do that, by the way, is a single click, left click, will queue up 1. If you hold, let's see, if it's Alt, left click, it's still 1. If you hold Control, left click, it's 10. Shift, left click, you queue up 100. Control, Shift, left click, you queue up 1,000. Okay? So I don't want to produce any computers right now. All right, so it's gone through all of the iron that I put in there, or all of the stone. There's 100 stone, so we'll transfer another 100 stone. This is super tedious and slow at the start, but it does pick up to the point where you're processing hundreds of thousands of kg of ore and stone per hour. Like it's it's awesome. I love it. Another fucking unknown signal. God. I mean, it's like airdrops in 7 Days to Die every 15 minutes. Like, how irritating is that? How irritating would that be? Excuse me. Finally. Okay, so we're going to see what we get out of one load of stone. All right. So we got 309 kg of iron, 24 kg of nickel, 41 kg of silicone. That's not bad, but believe me, that's not much. Okay, because we are going to need a lot. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, oh, I got to get some steel plates in order to do that. Where are they? There they are. So I'm going to build the base. Rotation of blocks is much like, I mean, as you can see, they're not locked to a grid. Okay, they're not locked to a world grid. You can, but you can also just do this. Okay, so you press B to change placement mode. So this is gravity align. This will make so that when I plop this block on this planet, it is level with gravity. Okay, and that's typically what you want when you're on planet. Okay, and you want that on planet because reasons, which I'll show you eventually here. So I'm gonna set myself up for floor, just a very small floor. Okay, so this is a large grid. You don't have a choice when you're building on planet. When you connect it to a voxel, it is a large grid. It is a station. Okay, so we're gonna set this up like so. All right, now that is the framework. Oh, shut up. So now what I would do if I wanted to fill these in is I have to weld them. In order to weld them, you have to have the material in your inventory to finish building the block. I have steel plates. I'm not going to weld these. I don't have enough steel plate to waste welding up blocks that are not permanent blocks. This base is very temporary. So, a couple of ways to recharge your power. One, jump into any cockpit or any control station or seat of a ship or grid that has power. And the other is you go to your survival kit, you hold F while you're pointed at the screen. It will recharge your health, it'll heal you, and it will refill your oxygen and hydrogen and your energy if there's oxygen and hydrogen connected to the survival kit or the med bay. This one does not have it, so it will not fill my oxygen and hydrogen. We'll get to that, but I'll show you this right now. When you get to within range and you point at, see how that yellow collar lights up? That's a connecting collar. You can connect other connectors to that collar, and then those blocks will share an inventory. I'll show you. It can get a little complicated if I don't just show you. Okay, so this is the basic start of my station. What I'm going to need from here is I need power, because this grid has no power currently. I need a basic refinery, and I need some storage. Ow. Okay, so let's start with the basic refinery. what do we need for that? Basic refinery. So it needs 10 computers, 10 motors, construction comp, and steel plate. As you can see, the PCU cost of it is 75. So what I've done is I used my scroll wheel, which is a middle mouse click, and I click it once, and what it does is it adds it to the build planner. Okay. Now this is key, because I use the build planner. I used to think it was stupid until I learned that it does simplify your life a lot. And this is something that I wish 7 Days to Die had. I've queued up a build planner. So I've said that this is the next item I want to build. All right. So I exit out of this. I go to any access panel on my grid. I can use that access panel. I can go over here to, well, oh, okay, sorry. This access panel, so I can do it from here on the survival kit. I could even do it from here on the O2H2 generator. Okay, you see how it says press K MX B2, that's the mouse button 2 to open terminal, press I to open inventory, blah blah blah, press middle mouse button to withdraw components. If I press shift and middle mouse button, it tells the computer in my ship to make all the components I need to build the item in my build planner, which is the basic refinery. So with one click, I've told my ship to build 100 steel plates, 20 construction comps, 10 motors, 10 computers, and 20 more steel plates to finish it off. All right. So why wouldn't you do that? It's just so simple, right? So easy. And the best part is that I don't have anywhere near enough materials to build that right now, by the way. But if I go here, I can click on production and I can watch it produce, and it will produce everything that it has the materials to produce. So it'll make the steel plates. If it runs out of iron to make steel plates, as you can see, it switched over to, it did have enough material to make some silicone wafers, or some computers. So it did that too. All right, cool. I love this. So I need material to make. I need a lot more stone, okay, because that took up all the materials I had in a few seconds. So we're going to go back over here to our stone hole. Grab those, and we're going to drill. Now, again, there's no right or wrong way to do this, but I just drill straight down. I've seen guys, they'll drill on an angle, like a 45-degree angle sort of thing, so that they can walk out of the hole. But if you prioritize getting ice and bringing ice back to your pod early on, then you can fly everywhere you go. And that means that you can drill straight down, make small holes, and fly out. The only thing you have to remember is make sure you have hydrogen before you go in. Okay, so something else you can do. Pointing at the access panel for the survival kit. I can't withdraw anything yet. Okay, so if I press, I think it's, what is it? Alt and mouse button? There you go. Alt and your middle mouse button will deposit everything in your inventory that will fit in that grid, and everywhere that's connected, all storage that's connected. So it's a good way to do a bag dump. And all it does is dump components and resources. It won't put your tools in there. Tools and guns stay in your inventory, so do bottles, oxygen and hydrogen. So it's a really good bag dump. And even if the survival kit, even if the container that you click on is full, if there's room anywhere in the ship and they're connected by connector tubes, or the connector system, the conveyor system is what it's called, then it will automatically deposit the materials into other places in your grid, anywhere that it can. It'll fit it wherever it can. So that's really cool. So we're going to hold Alt and mouse click again to throw more stone in there. You don't have to do this. You can just do it the hard way, or do it this is actually the shorter way when you're doing this. Oh, and as far as the production queue goes, I put the gravel or the stone at the front, or the ingots at the front, because I want it to produce, if it has stone, I want it to produce ingots. If there isn't any stone in the grid, then it'll start producing the materials. Okay? So I do that on purpose, just so you know. This is the grid information for the whole grid, everything that's connected to it. You can explore that on your own at some point if you want, if you decide to play the game, if this game interests you. It's a lot of fun. I love it. It's a very relaxing game, or, well, most of the time it's a very relaxing game. It can get pretty tense when you're doing like takeoff and landing and stuff like that. Getting out of atmosphere can be pretty tense. So, excuse me. Especially if you're not quite sure if you have enough fuel. So we go to production, and we'll see that we are making our stone plates here. Or steel plates, rather. Stone plates. And you can mass transfer very quickly here. This will drop an item, and it has to be something you've highlighted in your inventory. I can't, at least I don't think I can click on that. Yeah, see, I can't drop it from the ship. I actually have to pull it into my inventory, and then I can drop it. You can withdraw components for Build Planner by clicking, or just clicking this button once will withdraw everything that you can fit in your inventory if it's available into your inventory for your Build Planner. Or you can hold Control and click it to take 10 times the amount. So let's say, for example, I queue up one conveyor, or I've got one conveyor in my, rather than queuing up 10 in my Build Planner, I can queue up one conveyor tube in my Build Planner, and then I can, if I want to build 10 tubes, then I just come in here and, you know, Control click, and it'll pull out the amount to build 10 tubes. So very, very handy. I don't think I have enough. Let's see. Okay, so I don't quite have enough. I need four more construction comps and 7 motors. Okay, but now I've kind of screwed up, and I've withdrawn what I can, so I have to go over here, and I'm going to have to plop down a basic refinery. Now, when you're placing blocks, when you're placing stuff like refineries and stuff, one thing that's very important to keep in mind is, you see those yellow rings, those yellow square rings there? Those are your connectors, your conveyor connectors. You have to, unless you want to manually feed your refinery, you have to connect this to your conveyor system. Just by default, I connect everything I can to my conveyor systems on my grids. I don't like anything not being connected unless there's a specific reason not to connect it. So I'm going to put that guy right there. Shift F1. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Okay, so now I've placed it. Now I can weld it. Left click welding. Now, as soon as you click on it, it will automatically place everything that you have in your inventory on this that's needed to build it. Okay, like I have nothing left in my inventory, but you still have to put in the welding time. Now you see that line that says functional hack? When I get to that point, this refinery will work, but it has less health than normal, and it's easier to destroy. But when you're building a temporary base, getting up to the functional hack is really all you need. Okay. So I still need 4 more construction comp and 7 motors, which my pod can't make because I don't have any more stone in there. So back to the hole we go. We're going to have to do quite a bit of stone mining here. Now I can actually take damage from falling that far, but I bounced off the walls and didn't, which is nice. There we go. Like I said, I build these, just or vertical holes. They're just easier to get in and out of. I don't like bouncing off my walls. That hurts. So we're going to come back here and we'll open this inventory up and we're going to drop stone in here. Now here's something that I'm going to do. I always do this on my pods. Okay. Go to the conveyor cargo blocks and I'm going to build a medium cargo container. You can only build these on small grids. Okay, you can build small cargo containers on a large grid. See up here in this corner here, this means small grid, that means large grid. So I could build a small container on a large grid or a small grid. And a large container I can build also on a small grid or a large grid. But their capacities are dramatically different, which is why the components are different. Okay, but a medium cargo container you can only build on a small grid. As you can see, there's no large grid option. So I'm actually going to click on the plus sign that adds the medium cargo container to the, I'm going to remove that one for now because I need a cargo container. Okay, so it probably did not build everything I needed. Oh, because I'm out of materials. And as you can see, this is the materials that are needed for that refinery. Okay, still got that right there, and there's construction components that are still going to build. You can move stuff around, you can stack them, you can build them, but when you click the build production or the build planner, it will construct the components in the order that you queued up in your build planner. So it's going to finish producing what I need in order to make the refinery, and then it will move on to the stuff that I need for the cargo container. But you can rearrange it any way you like. Okay, so I believe I have enough to finish the refinery. Now, if you remove something from your build queue, no big deal. Your build planner, you go up to the item that you're trying to finish off till you got that information. Right-click your welder, and it says components added to build planner. So now, if I look at my build planner, it says that I've got a basic refinery, and it tells you what is still left to build it. All right, so we go back here. Middle mouse button, we've pulled everything that the ship or that the cargo has to build a container and the refinery. So we'll come back here. Oh, still need 3 construction comps. Is there 3 construction comps? There is not 3 construction comps. So where is that? So we're going to go like this, switch that around, and then we're going to put all that stuff back. Oh, I still had stone in my inventory. Right, okay. It's slow going to get started. No question about that. But it does speed up, I promise. It takes a few hours to get this game it's a long play game. You're not going to do anything fast in this game, just so you know. Oh, here's a neat hack, by the way. When you need to unlock something, like I need to use here, actually maybe I should show you this first. Under progression. I don't want that. Okay. So let's see. Oh, we gotta go to the progression tree. Now, when we build landing gear, we're going to unlock a bunch of stuff. There, just do a search. Okay, so here we go. We build landing gear. We're going to unlock all of this: wheels, parachutes, that kind of stuff. Flights or control stations, cockpits, like all kinds of stuff that you need. Thrusters and missile launchers, which I don't use very often. But yeah, you're going to unlock all of this stuff by just building a landing gear. So here's what you do. Grind it down past hack. Well, they're back up. I've unlocked everything. Now I've unlocked everything that the gear unlocks. I didn't actually have to build a gear. I just had to grind one down, weld it back up, complete it to the hack level, and I learned how to make it. You can do the same thing with your oxygen generator. Just be careful not to destroy it because your ice will fall down on the ground. But left click it. And now I've unlocked everything connected to that. I'm not going to do the thrusters yet because I can't re-weld them. The one thing you can't use this to cheat is thrusters. If I don't unlock, like if I don't build one of these items here, I won't be able to re-weld the thruster. I can grind it down past hack, but I won't be able to rebuild it or re-weld it and complete it because I haven't unlocked that building yet. I haven't unlocked that yet. Okay, so, and in truth, building a thruster doesn't unlock anything. That's the end of this part of the line. Okay, so there's no point in building that or grinding that down. Okay, do we have the construction? Yes, we do. Just going to take everything that's in here out. Finish welding up my refinery. Which is useless right now because the station has no power. See that red light on the top of the refinery? That means I don't have power. I can do nothing, senor. But this is going to be what we're going to refine stone in from now on once we get power to this, because this produces more resources with less stone used in each cycle. Okay? And the large refinery, the full-size refinery, it's the most efficient at processing stone. But basic refineries are good, really good for getting started. So, and you need one. So now I've built the refinery. I've unlocked a bunch of stuff. All right. Let's see what we have in our inventory. We have 47. Okay, so this is something that you need to do. This is something that has to happen. You have to get power to the station. Okay, so we're going to do this. Oops, I'll grind that off in a second. Oops, I don't want that. Okay, so we need a tower. And the reason we need a tower is because we have to build wind turbines, and wind turbines, the higher up they are, the more power they'll produce. Okay, so we're going to put one right there, and then we're going to switch back to our steel blocks, and we're going to go like this. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seems to be enough space between the... Oh, I can't place that because I don't have material, I don't think. Oh, no, there we go. I was in the way. 6 spaces between, or 5 spaces in between turbines with, the 6th one being the block you place it on. They have to be unobscured. You can't put these up and then build a wall around them. They won't generate any power. They have to be free and clear, and the higher up, the better. I'm not going to build a tower like 200 blocks high because I don't have that much steel plate. Each one of these metal blocks to place costs 1 steel plate. All right. But it's included in the total cost of resources to build the item. All right, so now what we've done is we've set 2 turbines here. So now what I do is I will go up and I will right click weld to add the components to the build planner for that and that one. All right. So then when I come up here, I can shift middle click and it will automatically queue up all of the materials needed to make. Now, oh, I don't need that one. Oh well.
Energy low.
Shush. So now it's gonna finish building the medium cargo container items that I needed, and then it will produce the wind turbine items that I still need. All right. Minus the 1 interior plate that it cost to plop down the block in the first place. So my energy's almost out. Oh, piss off. I'm not going to go chasing after another unknown signal. Oh, it did connect. My hydrogen is connected. Cool. Didn't realize that. Oh, yeah, there's a car conveyor tube back there. Okay, there we go. So power's full. All right, so we need more stone in order to make those turbines. Oh, and power is distributed across an entire grid. So these, as long as those turbines are connected to this grid and that grid and all of those blocks, and this refinery is on the same grid, it will receive power from those turbines. You don't have to run like power lines or anything like that. Thank goodness. So we're gonna go back into our stone hole. And we're gonna pick up some more stone because we have to. Oops. Oopsie, wrong one. So now I have to go into this and cancel all my production queues and start over because I screwed up and I'm telling it to produce shit that I don't need it to produce. So we're just gonna cancel all this. Okay, so what I need is kill that, kill that, kill that. So I need a cargo container, a medium cargo container. Add that. And then we'll go up here and I could just queue it up from the list for turbines, but this is a feature I just learned about recently before I stopped playing Space Engineers. Was right click, and if you don't have the components, it'll add the components to your build planner. It's really neat. So then we're going to Alt mouse button, put all our deposit all of our resources, and we are going to Shift middle mouse button to queue up everything we need for the cargo container and the 2 turbines. So now we can go in here and we can see that first it's going to build the stuff I need for the cargo container. Okay, I don't need a display because I've got 2 of them already, so I'm going to kill that one, that queue. And everything else it's essential to the build. So I'm going to let all that build. Don't worry, you don't have to hand mine and pick everything up as you go. Once you start building drills, like ship drills, grid drills, base drills, station drills, whatever you want to call them, once you start building those, they drill into the resource and they automatically pick it up. So it's just slow going to get started. That's all. Okay. Sorry. I was just checking something real quick. Ah. Oh, tragedy has struck. I'm out of coffee. Thermos is empty. Many sads. Get some drinking water. Damn it. All right. I see one viewer, which means it's probably just me viewing my own stream. So I'm going to put some music on. If there's anybody out there who doesn't like my music or wants me to turn it off so they can chat, whatever, just speak up in chat. Otherwise, I'm listening to tunes. Hey Hunter, welcome back. Hang on a sec, let me turn off the music. How's it going, buddy? That was quick. Quick school. Quick class. Alright. So, made a little progress while you were gone. I've got a basic refinery. So, I've got it powered. Now I need to build a basic assembler so that I can start building more complex stuff. And one of the things that I'm going to need in the assembler is some cobalt so that I can make the metal grids that I need in order to build the small cargo container. I need the small cargo container to start storing stuff so that I can build what I really need is a drill on my station. Oh, now I just got to say, isn't that pretty? Look at that. Doesn't the cobalt look really cool? Just want to say that. I don't need a lot. Maybe a little bit more. Cobalt is really slow to refine, so I'm not going to grab a whole lot of it right now. I just need a little bit. Respawn pod is that way. I could bring back like a full backpack full of cobalt ore, but storage space is quite limited right now, so I'm not gonna bring back much more than I need to get started. I can always build a flying miner to go up there and get some more cobalt if and when I need it. Well, I will need it eventually, but right now what I need is to. Oh, what is that? I'm gonna laugh if I got cobalt right here, because I just flew 5 kilometers away from my pod in order to get that. What do we got here? Nickel, magnesium, nickel, magnesium. Okay, so no cobalt. Okay, I don't feel so bad now. There you go. We got 2 wind turbines. They are optimal as far as power generation goes. So I've got them at a good altitude and uh, spaced out far enough. Now you can use solar power in this game, but it's nighttime right now, so my solar panels would be generating very little, like just starlight power, which is garbage. So I just go wind generators. Wind generators. Eventually, I'll make hydrogen engines. Ouch. I'll make hydrogen engines, which will be powered by hydrogen, which I get from mining ice. Okay, so I got my cobalt. Let's get that in the refinery and get it going. We'll check in here and see if I've produced everything I need. Yep, for the assembler. Oh, I guess I should plop the assembler, shouldn't I? Okay, so I've got that grid right there, that conveyor connection right there on the refinery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this assembler facing that refinery, and then I'm going to put the cargo container right in the middle. Okay, because the cargo containers have, as you can see, they've got connectors on all sides. All right. So that's what we're going to do there. All right, so first we're going to weld up the assembler. And then we'll go over here and we'll put what we can into the cargo container, but we can't finish it because we can't make small steel tubes or metal grids in the survival kit. But the assembler can. Okay, so here's what we do. We go like this, we clear our build planner, and then we right click, weld there, and then we queue up the production there. Now all it needs is material. Okay, and what it needs for material is, it needs iron ingots, nickel ingots, and cobalt for the grid, and iron for the steel pipes. So, let's see what we got here. We have iron there. We need some nickel. See if we have nickel cobalt or nickel ingots. Yes, we do. We're actually just going to take all this crap out of here because we're not going to be using this anymore. I think we can refine scrap. Okay, so we'll put this in there. What couldn't be deposited? It was the scrap, wasn't it? Yeah, because that's got to go in the refinery. Pretty sure we can put this in here. Yep. So we can recycle the scrap iron. And the rest of the cobalt I can wait on because I don't need it right away, and it's going to take a while. Like I said, cobalt process is really slow. So as long as I have something else I need to be building, that's what I will do. All right, now I've got my refinery is connected to my assembler through the conveyor system of this cargo container. So now I can just load up this cargo container with stone, iron ore, cobalt ore, nickel ore, whatever. Excuse me. If the refinery has nothing to process, it will automatically pull resources out of this container to refine them. And if I queue up anything to produce in the assembler, it will automatically draw components, or it will draw materials out of the refinery and the cargo container to make those material or those components. And if the assembler inventory gets full, it'll just start spitting those components that it's made into the conveyor system. So it'll drop them in this container. Same with the refinery. When the refinery is like right now, every block or everything in here that has an inventory or a storage capacity. This has got a 4,000 liter capacity, but it's also got a 4,000 liter and output capacity. If this fills, then these materials will just start flowing into the conveyor system. So into the storage box and or assembler. Like it'll go wherever it's allowed to go. Okay. So we've got that going for us. And now we need to start setting up an operation to drill so that we can get more more materials refining. Then I can stop drilling by hand because drilling by hand sucks. So we don't need this anymore. Oh, better make sure it's empty first. No, it's not. So we're going to grind this off. Get it out of the way, plus we need the materials. And you know what? I think I'm going to just... Yeah, I think I'm just going to grind this pod down. Eventually. But not yet, because I don't have everything I need on this base yet. Okay, so here's what we do. These are conveyor tubes. They will not, in of themselves, carry an inventory. This is a conveyor junction. Excuse me. And the conveyor junction is, as you can see, it's got a little plus sign on it there. So what that means is if I put that on my tool belt, I can change it. It's like the morphable blocks, like the wooden blocks or the rebar. You can change the shape. So I can either use it to make a conveyor junction or plop a conveyor junction, a tube, a collar, an elbow, or I can't remember what this one is. What is this? Conveyor sorter. I can't drop that one yet because I haven't unlocked it. Okay, so if I want to unlock the sorter, if I want to unlock the sorters, I need to build a conveyor belt or a conveyor tube. Any one of these, if I build any one of these, it'll unlock these 4, which includes the sorter and this little handy dandy, the collector. That's good when you crash a ship and you blow it up. Okay, so we're going to, and you just simply scroll wheel. Your mouse scroll wheel changes the shape. They automatically will rotate to connect like this. Okay, so we're going to set one of those there. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now again, these tubes will not hold an inventory. They don't have an inventory space, so they won't hold anything. They just connect systems together to allow material to flow, material and products. So then we're going to do this. We're going to put an elbow there. I think that's high enough. We'll find out shortly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like my stuff being right side up whenever possible, so we'll put a conveyor there. Now, have we unlocked rotors? Yes, we have. Have we unlocked pistons? Yes, we have. Awesome sauce. Okay, so we're going to put a piston on here. Oh, we're not going to because we don't have any steel plates. That's tragedy. Let's get us some steel plates. Okay, now we have steel plates. So we're going to put the piston right there. And then we're going to put a rotor on the end of the piston. So now we have 2 choices here, an advanced rotor or a regular rotor. A regular rotor will not pass inventory or materials through it. It's just a rotor. It just turns stuff. This advanced rotor will allow material to pass through. So that's what we're going to build. We're going to put one of those on there. Excuse me. Okay, so the rotor, these guys are very particular about how you put them on. You see right in the middle of the rotor or near the end of on the bottom of the rotor there where the numbers are upside down, that's because the rotor itself is upside down. I'll show you right side up. Okay, so these are measured in degrees, so 0 through 360. Okay, that's important in certain situations with rotors. Oh, shut up. Okay, so we're going to place the rotor. It's not going to matter on this particular setup with what we're doing. It's not going to matter what direction the rotor is facing. So I'm just going to place it with 0 being right there. Okay, so now I've placed it and it automatically adds a rotor head. Okay. Same with the piston. It added a piston head automatically. Now, in order to produce all of this stuff, I have to do some queuing. So I have to QQ. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tubes plus a junction. So we're going to go into our production queue and we're going to put that there. And now we're going to go down here and I'm going to press Control mouse. Nope. No, I'm actually going to have to go into the inventory for this. Okay, so production. No, inventory. Add components from build planner to production queue. Add a selected component. And shit, how do I do this? Ah, here we go. Shift Control middle mouse button. Okay, so Shift Control. There we go. So I've queued up 10 tubes. So now I'm going to Shift, click it one more time to put that into production. And then a conveyor junction. I'll add to the production queue a piston and a rotor. Now I actually have to add the advanced rotor part. This is the rotor head. I have to add that to my production queue. Otherwise it won't build it. And the piston head, for whatever reason, is not a listed item. But I have to go up here. There we go. Okay. So now I go down here and I clicky, and it will put all components into production. Okay. So that's going to take a while to get that done, and I'm probably going to need to go and mine some materials, but let's see exactly what I'm going to need here. Just going to stack all these because I need all of this in order to get started. Like, to get this system up and running, I'm going to need all of this. This is where the 7 days to die has the advantage, because you can just click a button and it will stack all of these. It would stack all of these production queues into one pile. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we have enough iron to produce all of our construction components. We have enough to produce all of our pipes. We do not have enough nickel, so we're going to need some more nickel. Good there, good there, good there, and we have enough silicone. So what we're missing is nickel here. How much nickel do we need again? Let's see. 113, and we have 600 for. I'm just going to go and get some nickel. Oops, before I go anywhere. Bagged up. Okay. I'm pretty sure there was nickel over here by the iron, but I'm not 100% positive. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. There's the nickel. Where'd you go? There you are. Oh, and there was cobalt. Look at that. Cobalt 40 meters down. Okay. So we found cobalt, which close by, which is nice. New from current position. This will be nickel. So I'm just going to right-click drill down to the nickel. I don't want any stone, I just want the nickel. So I make a bigger hole when I'm using right-click drilling. And there's the nickel. Kind of look cool looking, little greenish. We're going to get some stone. If we had a resource buried under the lake, we would get ice along with the resource. I'm getting a full load of nickel and stone because we are going to need quite a few motors, and nickel is an essential ingredient in motors. So yes, I know my inventory's full. Deal with it. There we go. Alrighty. See what I mean? That cobalt is stupid slow to produce. So I'm going to move it to the back of the line. Actually, you know what? I'm going to move the cobalt into the cargo container, because I would rather produce anything other than cobalt right now. Oops. See how there's if I click on this, there's a ring around this inventory. That means that if I double click on anything in my bags, that's where it'll go. It won't go into the top one. It'll go wherever I've highlighted. So I need to highlight this one. There we go. So as you can see, the nickel keeps disappearing out of the refinery. That's because the refinery is connected to the assembler through that conveyor or through that cargo container, the conveyor system of the grid. So the assembler needs nickel. It's drawing it straight out of the refinery. You don't have to move. You don't have to move shit around in the base as long as you connect things with conveyor system. You don't have to move stuff around. It'll automatically go where it needs to go. It's really handy. So we'll take a look at our production. We're banging off the motors we need. Still have plenty of iron to make these and that and that and that. So yeah, this is going to finish off what we need in order to make the conveyors, the rotor, the piston, and then we have to do the drill. So that's the part that's this guy right here. They're expensive. They are super, super expensive. So I'm going to start with one. All right. And in order to use this system effectively, shut, God, you know, you never stop bitching. There. Be happy for 5 minutes now. You know what? I'm going to refill my hydrogen bottle while I'm thinking about it. All right. So we're going to queue up a drill. Okay. Now we need a control panel or a control seat. Control station. And it's not going to let me place it. See how the block is red? Can't place that there. Can't place it there because I need interior plate. Does it say the same thing when I try and put it here? Maybe. Well, let's take a look here. See if we have any interior plate in here. Okay, so now I've got interior plate. Yes, I can place it on top of the assembler. Okay, so now we need to queue this up. Excuse me. And then we're going to pull everything out that we need and we're going to start welding this thing up. Okay, can't finish that. We need more tubes. It's fine. Okay, now I've used everything in my inventory that I can to build everything in my chain. So I can, oh, wait, no, I got a couple of things I can throw in here. Okay, so we've done everything we can so far. So now I'm going to put everything back in the inventory and then I will take out as much as I can. Okay, so there's not a whole lot I could take out of there. Let's see. What are we out of? We don't have any more iron ingots, so I got to go and get some more iron ore. Okay, no problem. It's easily handled. First, we're going to empty out our inventory as much as we can here. And throw a few more pieces onto the Command center? Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go get some more iron, because we need iron. Okay, I'll go back to the station. There it is. Alright, so we're going to switch this to refining iron. And we'll go into the grid's inventory, and we're going to change this around, because see now, cobalt is in line before iron in the cargo container. So when the refinery has room, it'll start pulling cobalt. We don't want that. We want it to draw iron. So we're going to make sure that iron is first up in its list. And I'm going to move the, oh, you can do it here too. You can do it like this. Okay. You can move stuff back and forth like this. So the nickel comes after the cobalt. I'm going to switch that around because I would prefer nickel be processed before cobalt. I don't need any more cobalt for quite a while. So, and if I brought back a whole backpack, I'd have 10,000 cobalt to process. That would take forever. Okay, so we're looking at our production here, and everything we need to finish building the conveyor system is right there, plus the command station. We need this command chair in order to fully access the command menu of this drilling apparatus. Okay, that's going to be a while that drills. So what I'm going to do in the meantime, I'm going to start taking apart this ship. I'm going to leave the survival kit because I need that. I don't need the thrusters, and I don't need the antenna or the ore detector or anything like that. That's all garbage. So I need the survival kit and the H2O2 generator, although I could actually make one. Let's go ahead and make one of those. Why not? Oh, right, because I don't want to waste materials until I get that built. That rig and that chair are my key to stop having to mine by hand. So that's first and foremost. But what I can do while I'm waiting is grind off these landing gears, because I'm going to need this pod to be able to be moved. There we go. So now once I build my drill, I can use my drill to just shove the pod out of the way. I don't much care if this thing gets damaged. Actually, you know what? If I remember correctly, I'm just going to double check something here. Throw that in there. Let's take a look at a survival kit, because I think the components, the cost of a survival kit is the same on a small or large grid ship. So let's see. Nope, we need more steel plates to build it on a large grid, but that's okay. I can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my survival kit over to my large grid. And I'll just put it right on the back of this. Doink. Like so. There we go. All right. See, now I've kind of gutted my ship, my escape pod, so I don't need this. This survival pod is basically a parts department. You have to grind it down to get material or the components to build a bunch of stuff. I don't generally tend to do that when I'm playing. I just I'll just mine up the materials I need, or mine and refine what I need right away. But there are times, there are games, depending on where I land, where I don't want to stay there. So I will grind down what I need to in order to put thrusters and unlock and build thrusters that I can put on this pod to fly it to a better location. I didn't have to do that this game because I landed in a decent place with good resources nearby.
No energy.
Oh, well that sucks. Ooh, what's that? Oh, don't need that. Come on, get up on the thing, moron. Med bays recharge your batteries and your oxygen, your health. They fill your bars faster. But I don't have silver, so I can't make a med bay yet. You need silver to make medical components. What I could check. Let's see. No, I still can't make. Oh. But I can go into here. Can I make bottles? No, I can make bottles. I can't make. Oh, I can. Oh, maybe. Yep. There we go. Upgrade my tools. Eventually, one day. So much easier. It would just be so much easier if I could stack all of this crap. What do we got? What's up? Are we out of iron already? Basic refinery. Holy crap, yeah, I'm out of iron already. Damn. Alright, well, solution to that problem. Yes, this game is very in-depth, and you ain't seen nothing yet, dude. This is just basics. This is just getting started. All right, now at this point, I don't need stone as much. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make me a little hole. for the stone to be thrown into. Then I'm going to drop my stone and pick up iron. Dow! Broke the seal. Oh well, close enough. I want to make sure I bring back much more iron than I do stone this time, because I don't need to refine as much stone. There we go. It's a good idea when you're playing when you're heading back to your base to drop stuff off, switch to your welder. You can't accidentally destroy a component of your base with a welder. I've done that, and it's embarrassing as hell. Alright, so I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to switch you around again. Go to my cargo container, and put iron at the forefront. Stone right behind the iron. There we go. Now, this is one thing that's really cool. Love this about this game. I'm can't say enough. Okay, so here we are. Where's my cargo container? There's my cargo container. That's a pain in the ass. If you've got a ship with like 200 cargo containers on it, it's really hard to find, both in the inventory screen and the control panel in the terminal. So here's what you do. You name it. I always name my cargo containers AW, and then I'll go AA1, AA2, AA3, and I'll show you why. When I want to search, what are your fingers on when you're playing games like this? They're on the AWD key. So what I do is, oops, boom, AWD. Now any cargo container with the name or with the letters AWD in it will show up on this side. It's a filter. It's an instant filter. Okay, now if let's say I want to see everything that's in my ice storage, I can type ice. Any container that I've named with ice in the name, whether it's capitalized or not, will show up on the list. You can also use it to search for components. If I want to know how many steel plates I have, I type in steel plate, and it will show me every location on this grid, not necessarily that are connected through the conveyor system, but every location on this grid that has steel plates in it. Pretty cool, huh? It's the awesome. Okay. Oh, I wanted to check on the production. Where are we at? Yeah, we're getting through it. Go away. Those drills take a lot of freaking materials to build. Worth it. Believe me, worth it. But they do take a lot of materials to build. Excuse me. It's the same as 7 Days to Die, Silent. I mean, there's a lot to learn. The game is fairly simple to learn, but it is really hard to master because flight characteristics are they are a thing in of themselves. And there's one of the loading screen tips that I absolutely love. It's hilarious, and it is so true, especially in this game. And that the loading tip, it says, flight is the least forgiving of all the engineering disciplines. So true. So true. You build a ship, you put all your time and energy and all your resources into building a ship. If you don't have enough lift or enough thrusters to keep it aloft, even when you start to, like when the ship starts to change angles, you're going to plummet like a stone. And when you fall, you crash. And when you crash, pieces of your ship or the entire ship, depending on how fast you're going when you hit the ground, explode. So you can put all of your time and effort into building a ship, not put enough thrusters on it to keep it aloft, and then disconnect it from your station or whatever, and then it plummets to the ground and explodes. And then you're like, what in the actual fuck just happened? That's when you use the auto reload or the reload, the game save game backups, because yeah, that really sucks. What are we missing? Iron still. Son of a bad word. More iron needed. Okay. Just take the damn stone back. Well, no, I won't. I really don't want to because it's really no good. I was holding the wrong button, so I wasn't picking anything up. Okay, I'm gonna drop some stone here. Oh, no, don't push me, don't. You rotten bastard. Fine, you know what? Want to be that way? Fucking throw you out here on the grass. How do you like that shit? Now watch, it'll roll back and cover my damn hole. Stupid gravity. You can actually, I've done this. You can actually use gravity to your advantage to mine. If your base was down at the bottom of the hill, you could literally just create boulders like this and drop them, let them roll down the hill into a collector, and the collector will just pick them up and throw them into the refinery. It's hilarious. I've had to do it because I didn't have the resources and I couldn't find hydrogen for flight, so I was limited to groundwork for the longest time. So what I did was I built my base right at the base of a mountain or a hill like this, and I put a collector in I buried a collector in the ground facing up, and then I just drilled, let all the shit roll down the hill and down the trenches into this collector, and I just threw it into my refinery, and that's how I got my mine or my refinery going. So again, gotta go in here and switch out the iron for the nickel. So we're gonna go like this. Yeah, we're good there. Okay. Hopefully that'll be enough iron. You know what? I'm gonna switch this out. I want to get that going. Get my better tools. If I can get my better tools, I can drill faster, weld faster, grind faster. Highest level tools is tier 3, but in order to make those, we will need platinum, which you can only get in space. Sucks. I keep those tools as a backup in case I die or I lose my tools, because glitches still happen in any video game. This one is no exception. Now, in order to equip them, we have to go to the G menu, character tools, and actually drag it down to the toolbar. There we go. Slightly better tools. Slightly better, or slightly faster digging, which is, good. And what that means is each time a block breaks, or each time a voxel breaks, the iron that's contained in the ball will be more. So I'll show you. And it breaks the blocks faster. Yeah. You know what I think of that? You'll hear that voice a lot in Space Engineers. you will come to hate her as much as I do.
Inventory full.
See what I mean?
Inventory full.
All right, well, we can't get any better than that, so we're going to have to leave the rest behind for now. Whoa, don't crash. So I'm just going to put this manually into the, oh, look at that. Wait, oh, why are you doing that? I don't want you in there, I want iron in there. There we go. That was the problem. There was iron in there, it just wasn't refining because the nickel was in the way. Stupid nickel. Now, large grid containers have way more storage space than small grid containers. This small grid or small container, it's a 1x1 block. This small container on the large grid has a larger capacity than the large container on a small grid. So this is why I typically, I don't, most of the ships that I build, most of the grids that I build are large grids. Even my scout ships are large grids because they're yes, they do draw more power and cost more resources to fly and all that stuff, but all of their equipment is much more powerful. So the ore detector reaches much further into the ground to find those ores, and you don't have to fly as close to the ground as you do with a small grid. I've crashed many ore sniffer ships trying to find resources because the ship had to be so damn close to the ground that I would just run into the ground. You can build like rovers to do your ore sniffing. Yeah, keep working. Oh, okay. I've produced everything. Okay. That's why I'm running out of room, because I don't, it's just producing. It's not. Okay. All right. So do I still have my build planner? I do not. So let's go over here and we'll grab that. And now we can sit in this chair, sitting the master's chair, petit pooch. And this is our ship control, or our station control stations, our control seat. We can zoom out really far. When you build really big stations, you got to zoom out this far to see what you're doing sometimes. And that's as close as I can zoom in. So I can't get as close in as I can in my small grid ship, or just, floating around in my own self. But yeah, there we go. So that's done. All right, so we're gonna throw all that in there like so. Get that done. And we need to queue this up in our build planner. And then we need to control shift middle mouse button to withdraw that many. No, I don't want to do that. No. You, no, come here. Oh, okay, so the only thing missing was steel tubes, I guess. Maybe. What are you talking about? Oh, I see. I see what happened there. Okay, I got you. All right. Is that all that's needed on the rest of this? No. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to make this easier. I screwed up. my thing, so I'm just going to do this manually. Grab everything I need. There we go. Okay. One thing that I'll end up with eventually is a standing order of build components, like building components and stuff. I'll just have a stock or an inventory of it. So the conveyor is done. Piston is done. That's good. Rotor is done. Rotor head is done. So all that's left now is the drill, and all we need is steel plates. We need another 110 steel plates just to get it to the hack level, and then another 120 after that, so 230 steel plates in order to finish the drill.
Fuel low.
I feel you, but I don't care.
Fuel critical.
Okay, so we're going to put these components back. And what do we need to finish the drill? Some steel plates. Let's see if we can make those. All components successfully withdrawn. Dun, da, 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 da. My first drill. What do you think, Silent? It's my first drilling rig. Hive Tyrant is happy. Okay. All right. So here's what we do. We hop into the driver's seat here. All right. So we have to set up a few things before we get started, before we can start chewing up the ground. Because these things don't operate. Their default settings are really not good. They are if you just needed to perform a basic function, but I have a specific function I want these to perform. So here's what we do. We open the control panel. We're going to go first to our rotor. Now, this is something I learned a long time ago when I first started discovering rotors. You can always tell. You can always tell on a server, if you're playing on a public server, you can always hear the new guys in the chat because they start making adjustments to rotors. They've never looked at them, explored them, or whatever. These are dangerous, okay? You can blow up an entire ship if you don't set these up properly. So the first thing we do, we lock the rotor. This prevents the rotor from doing anything regardless of any changes we make to its settings. Okay? That is your safety lock. You know, you go into a commercial site, you see those safety lockouts that they have on electrical panels and equipment. This is your safety lockout. Okay? So you got to make sure you lock your rotor. Now, torque, I don't mess with. Braking torque, I will move up to, about there. Braking torque is how much of the motor or how much of the torque you want to apply to the shaft when you want to stop it. Okay? The more braking torque you add, the more shake and freak out you're going to have if you've got long arms and stuff attached to these rotors. Velocity, we need to change to 1 RPM. We're not going to need this right now, but we will need it shortly. Lower limit, unlimited, upper limit, unlimited. This is where those angles come in I was telling you about. They're marked off from 0 to 360. If you only wanted this thing to turn 90 degrees, you would set the lower limit to 0 and then the upper limit to 90. And then that rotor would only turn back and forth between 0 and 90 degrees. Rotor displacement, this is how far out it sticks the rotor head. You can go as far out as 20 centimeters. And this is so you can line blocks up and stuff like that. Or you can withdraw it all the way in to minus 40. So I'm going to extend it all the way out because I want to drill down as deep as I can, which is 20 centimeters. Now, we'll get back to this in a second because we have to do the piston first before we do that. or before we do a very important thing. Oh, they removed that, did they? You dirty, rotten bastards. Okay, never mind. We can't set it up the way I used to set it up. Okay, that's fine. Pistons. These are important as well. Very important settings. Oh, they took the shared inertia off entirely. Oh, shit. Oh, that's gonna make this interesting. I'm either gonna, you know, shared inertia was something you could do to give your pistons and your rotors much more stability when you've attached them to a base. We'll see whether or not that actually makes any difference now, or what they did to optimize it. We'll see. Anyway, so the piston settings. Velocity, we're going to leave at 0.5 right now. Maximum distance. This is the first setting I change. So I set that to 0.1 meters because I don't want it going very far. And then I hit reverse. Okay. So you'll see we fix that later. Minimum distance, don't need to worry about. Impulse axis, impulse non-axis. This is how much pressure the piston is going to apply if it meets resistance, like terrain or another ship or what have you. So this setting is dangerous to go. Like, we can apply up to 100 kilonewtons on this and there, and it's not as dangerous. But if you are playing in experimental mode, you can crank that up to where this number turns red. That means that shit is unstable and it's going to do bad things. You can cause a lot of explosions. So I'm just gonna leave it. Well, I might as well leave it at 100. There isn't going to be any resistance here, just because of how I use things. So we're good there. We're good there. Everything is set. Okay. So we close that. Now we open the G menu, and this will, when you're sitting in the control panel or the cockpit of a ship or a station, this is the menu you see when you open G. It's your toolbar. So we're going to set up our toolbar. First, we're going to set the advanced rotor to lock and unlock. And we're going to set the piston to increase maximum distance. Okay, now the reason we're doing that is, well, actually, you know what, I'm going to move it over. Hang on. Decrease maximum distance there. So we can reduce and increase the amount of extension that the piston has with that button. And then finally, the drill toggle block on and off. Okay, so we hit the toolbar, boink, our drill starts to spin. Isn't that pretty? And now we hit the increase maximum distance on the piston. Wait till it finishes extending, then we see where it's at. And again, we keep doing this until we touch ground. Bingo. We've made contact with the ground. Now we have stone being picked up by the drill, traveling through the piston, through the rotor, through the piston, down the conveyor system into the storage container. It'll automatically start refining as soon as our refiner needs something to chew on. Okay? Now, the only caveat here is that if the inventory fills up, it will continue to chew on stone, or like the drill will continue to cut stone if it's being pushed into it, but the stone will just disappear. It'll just break. It won't collect. So you have to make sure that you don't fill your inventory. Our cargo container has very limited space, so we're not going to drill quickly or a lot. And this is where we should consider making a large cargo container. Okay, so I'm going to turn that drill off for a few minutes. I'm going to hop out and I'm going to see if I can get a large cargo container somewhere here. The only place I can put it is right there. Large cargo container. In order to place it, I need some interior plate. So we're going to go here and see if we have any. We do. All right. Now, I have two choices here. I can either weld this thing by hand, and as you can see, it needs a lot of components, mostly interior plate, but a lot of this shit is heavy. Okay? So, what I do, I cheat. Nope, need steel plate. I cheat. I cheat. I cheat. I cheat. I build a welder. Okay, so I don't have enough material to build the welder. What am I missing? Don't know. Let's see. I need one large steel tube, 2 motors, 2 computers. Alright, so I'm going to put all my shit back. And get out the material for the welder. Alright, now the welder has 1, 2, and another cargo access on the other side. If you connect the welder with these yellow collars to a matching yellow collar in your conveyor system, this welder will draw any materials that it needs to weld anything within range, which for the large grid welder is 2 blocks that away, 2 blocks that away, up that away, and diagonal. And it will even weld 2 blocks deep. So if you put these welding electrodes right up against a wall and there's a block behind that wall that needs to be welded, if you push up close enough, very carefully of course, it will weld that block on the other side of the wall. It is so awesome. But these things will kill you. Stay away from the welder when they're hot. How do you know they're hot? Take a look at the welder right now. See those little rings right there? They're black. Go in here. Toggle block on. Now they're red. That means your welder is hot. It will kill you if you go near it. Stay away from it. All right, so we need to make a large grid container, or a large cargo container for a large grid. What we need here is another, I want to say 18 metal grids and another 119 interior plates. Easiest way to make sure that we don't overproduce more than we need is to just queue it up like so. Now, I've told the system to make the components that I need to build that container. The welder is going to, as soon as those components are made, it's going to add them to the container. So now I can just sit back here, provided I have the hydrogen, which I think I do, and I can watch my creation come to life. As you can see, we're adding every single plate that gets produced as it's being produced. Pretty cool, huh? This is a hack that I learned a while back, and I've never seen anybody else use it. I've watched other people streaming. When I've played multiplayer with other people, I'll watch them come out here and weld shit by hand. I'm like, why? Why are you doing all that work? Back and forth, using the build planner, back and forth. Dude, just do it this way, man. Hook up a welder to your system and let it build your system for you. It's really cool. I build entire bases without carrying components other than I'll have like 100 interior plate and 100 steel plate in my inventory. That's like 99% of what you need in order to drop down any object. And then I carry enough material in my inventory to build a welder. And that's it. The system builds itself. Okay, we don't have enough metal grid. Oh, there we go. Now we're starting to produce metal grids. Okay. I was worried we didn't have enough cobalt. I was going to say we're going to have to start refining cobalt, but nope, we're good. There we go. Now check this out. Look at that cargo capacity. 421,000 liters. That sounds like a lot. It isn't. But it is considerably better than 15,625. So, let's do the math. Let's see here. 15,625 times how many 1 block cubes can you fit in a 3x3 by 3? What is that? 9? 3 times 3 is 9. No, 9 times 3 is 27. So times 27 equals, wow, look at that, 421,875. So they're the same cargo capacity for a 1-block cargo times 27 of them as it would be for a single large cargo container. The difference being you only have to build 1 container instead of 27 of the sons of bitches. So we're going to take this welder off because we don't need it anymore. And I have other plans for that welder. Now we're going to come down here. Drill. And we're going to build 1, 2, 3. Oh no. Oh, okay, I can't do it that way. I have to do it the other side. We're running into the ground. That's the problem there. Oh, I guess I could just do this. Piston. Reverse. Okay, so just pull the piston back up. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I could probably fit a 5th on there, but what will end up happening is it could bang into the station as it's coming around in a circle. So I'll just have that. Okay. So now I don't want to have to carry the material to build 4 drills, right? That's a pain in the ass. So here's what I do. Put a welder there, and I put a welder there. You're going to love this. This is another hack, another way of using the welders that I've never seen anybody else use. So we're going to go in here, we're going to turn this welder on. Now this welder is going to build not only that drill bit and that drill bit, it's also going to build that welder. How cool is that? So now we open this one, we turn that welder on, and because these drills are connected through the rotor, through the piston to the conveyor system, this welder will pull materials through the system to build this drill and this drill. As you can see, it's built that one, but we don't have enough materials to build this one. So let's go over here and see what we're missing. All we need is more steel plate. So we're just going to make sure that my build queue is clear. And then we go shift, middle click. And hey, I need 180 steel plates. Can you go ahead and make those? Yeah, you bet, boss. Thanks. And then the production crew, zip zap, boom. Oh, it's going to finish off this one first. Okay, so we're finished that one. Okay, so now you can work on this one. Now I can just go in here and I can just queue up another. There. Things get going much faster soon, I promise. Do you see where this is going yet, Silent? Do you see how this is going to end up working? Boom, drill bit done. I don't actually have to wait for it to finish. Drill bits don't take damage if they're drilling, if they're doing what you're telling or what they were made to do. If they take hits from the sides, they'll take damage, but if they just pushing them down against the ground, they won't. All right, so here we go. We're going to sit back in our chair. We're going to pet the pooch. Okay, so the first thing I need to establish is which direction it's rotating in. That's good. That's the direction I wanted it to rotate in. But I do need to put it down a little bit so that it will shove that control or that pod out of the way. Let me use the drill bit to move my survival pod. I don't technically need it anymore, but it's still got my H2O2 generator on it, so I don't want to destroy it, but I do want to move it out of the way so it doesn't fall into my hole. Excuse me. That should be low enough. Move over. Move over, Rover. Yeah. Tip. Oh, yes, stupid thing. Didn't tip. Wonder if I can go out there and encourage it to tip. There we go. Okay, that should be well out of the way. Okay, so now we can lock the rotor again. We got to make a couple more adjustments here. So now we highlight the drill, can shift click to get all the drills highlighted. We're going to name them, creatively enough, drills. All right, so now we open up our G menu, and now you'll see we have another heading called groups. So we click on groups, and hey, look, there's the drills group. Drag that down to my toolbar. Toggle block on, off. So now I push the button, all of the drills turn on. Unlock the rotor. And we go round and round. And as you can see, the refinery is getting, hold on. Where's my large cargo? There's, we're going to call that AWD AA2. All right, so we'll go back to my inventory screen, and now we're going to search AWD, and this bad boy will fill all the way up with stone, which will then get drawn directly into the refinery as it's needed. So we're going to go like this. And where's the refinery? I don't have too much more cobalt, but still. Now, yeah, this will be an issue. Go like this. There we go. All right, now, every time the drill bits go around in a circle, I have to extend the piston because they're not reaching the stone anymore. So we go like this. We push it once, it extends it by 0.5 meters. Push it a second time, another 0.5 meters, so it'll go down by 1 meter. Third time, 1.5 meters. You got to be careful not to try and shove it down too far, because if the drill bits, again, if they hit a side of a trench or of the pit, you'll put stress on the drill bits and the rotors. You don't want to do that. So this can be very tedious, waiting for this thing to go around and have to sit here and babysit it. So I'm going to stop this for a second, and I'm going to show you my next trick. For my next trick, let's see, production. Can I make it? Oh, I still can't queue it up that way. Okay. When you get the large assembler, you can queue up items that you need by item. You don't have to, but that's okay. We'll do it this way. So, do we have sensors unlocked? We do not. How do we unlock sensors? Sensors. That's what I want right there. To make that, I need to make an interior light. Oh golly. How do I do that? Let's go with this. And we need some construction comp. Oh, we have some. Okay, we're good. This actually works out nicely because I like having lights on my drill rig anyway. Okay, so now we have lights. We've unlocked the sensor. So we'll put this on the toolbar. And what do we need to place a sensor? We need interior plate. Okay, so we don't have any of that. Do we have any interior plate? Nope. So we'll go to production. Make 100 of those bad boys. Alright, so I'm going to put a sensor. Actually, I'll just put it right here. Oh, wait. No, you got to do this in a particular order. Hang on. Oh, I don't have that yet. Damn it. Where is it?
Low.
Oh, shush.
Fuel critical.
Oh, what do I need for the interior? Oh, where is it? What do you got to do to unlock the interior wall? Do I have that? Yeah, oh, I do. Okay, so I have to build one of these first. Hang on. Okay. This is when the times that I really hate progression is when I already know what I need to build and I know how to play this game, but I still have to. So this is why I don't do this. Here we go. This is the one we need, an interior pillar. So where's my base? There's my base. So this is the face that is on the base. Okay, and now we need the sensor. Shit, now I'm out of interior plate again. Alright, fine. Happy? Stupid game. Oh, no, I can't do it. I gotta, hang on a sec. Rotor's locked. Unable to place it. Okay, well, we gotta change the, okay, we gotta do the rotation a bit. We gotta move that rotor out from underneath that post. So we'll do this. I can put a thing on here to reverse the direction of the rotor, but I'll just leave it as is. That should be good enough. There we go. There we go. Okay, now if you're wondering which way is up on these things, if you look on your toolbar, you see how you can see it. Number 8, the sensor. You see how it looks on the toolbar? That's right side up. Okay, so if you want it to be like that, you just match it up like so. Alright, now I need some stuff to make this, but I don't have it, so we'll right click to add to the build planner and then shift middle click. All components successfully put into production. So that means that I can make everything I need for that sensor. So I'm just going to babysit my production until those things are done. Not going to take very long. Takes 4 antenna, 6 detector components, and 2 more steel plates for some reason. Okay, so now we got all that. All right. So first thing we have to do, show sensor field range. That's in your terminal, in your personal terminal. You can access it when you're in a ship or whatever. It doesn't matter. So we show sensor field range. Okay. Oh, right. Now we have to go into the menu here and show on HUD. Okay, so now we're going to see a big green box. This is how far that sensor will detect stuff right now. Really big. We don't want it that big. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the menu, left extent. We're going to drag that all the way in, right extent, bottom extent, top extent, back extent. Now this is the one that's important, the front extension. We only need it to go like 3 meters. And the shorter the sensor extension, the less power it consumes. So now we'll see if that's far enough. Yep, see that red bar there? That's the sensor range. Okay, so when we set it up, we're gonna set it up to detect that post. Okay, so we got to set that up. First, we go down here and we turn it off. We want the proximity alert. Or the audible alert. That'll make a little bleep bleep sound when it senses what it's told to sense. We're going to take it off players because we don't want it to detect me. We don't want it to detect floating objects, small ships, no. We want stations and subgrids. Okay? And the reason we want that is because each one, okay, like that is one grid. That station is one grid. But as soon as we added the piston, that piston is a separate grid or a subgrid connected to the main grid. This rotor is a third grid or subgrid connected to the piston, which is connected to the grid. Okay, so if we don't detect subgrids, it's not going to pick up this. All right. So we have subgrids, we have stations and subgrids, owner, blah, blah, blah. None of that matters for this sensor. Those settings are for weapons and so on and so forth. All right, so now we click Setup Actions. Now what we're going to do is this brings up all of the usable items, blocks, if you will, in our grid, okay, including the main grids, everything that's connected. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this piston and we're going to increase maximum distance. Now, the trick here is that there are 2 boxes. I don't care about that one. There are 2 boxes for the sensor. This one is what do you want to happen when the triggering effect occurs? Whatever the sensor is set up to detect, when it detects it, what do you want to happen? This one is when that detection leaves the sensor's field. Okay, so we're not going to do anything when it leaves the sensor's field because we don't need to. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so now what we do is we go over here, we have ourselves a seat. Okay, so you can still see the sensor post. So we're going to turn on our drills and we're going to start the rotation. It's a little boring, but you can't go too fast because the drills can only chew up so many cubic meters at a time. Now watch what happens when the sensor triggers. It automatically extends the piston by 0.5 meters. I can literally set this thing up, and you can set up sensors and multiple pistons. You can set up 20 pistons on one on top of the other with sensors, and you can have this thing running on automation for a half an hour, just moving down 0.5 meters at a time, chewing up an asteroid, drilling a really big hole in a planet, whatever you want to do. I set it up this way with the rotator because then I only need 5 drill bits to cut a hole 9 blocks across. And I'm all by my onesie again, talking to myself. So I'm going to put some tunes on.
Who are you to wave your finger? You must have let out your hand. I hold deep in the muddy waters. You practically raised the dead. Rob the grave, just know the cradle and burn the evidence down. Soapbox house of cards and glass, so don't toss me your stone. bust it. This here's a jam for all the fellas. Try to do what those ladies tell us. Get shot down cause you're overzealous. Play hard to get females get jealous. Okay, smarty, go to a party. Girls are scantily clad and showing body. A chick walks by, you wish you could sex her, but you're standing on the wall like you was Poindexter. Next day's function, high class luncheon. Food is served and you're stone cold munching. Music comes on, people start to dance, but then you ate so much you nearly split your pants. A girl starts walking, guys start gawking, sits down next to you and starts talking. Says she wanna dance cause she likes the groove, so come on fatso and just bust the move. Just bust the move. You're on a mission and you're wishing someone to cure your lonely condition. Looking for love in all the wrong places. No fine girls, just ugly faces. From frustration, first inclination is to become a monk and leave the situation. But every dark tunnel has a light of hope, so don't hang yourself with a celibate rope. New movie showing, so you're going. Could care less about the five you're blowing. Theater gets dark just to start the show. Then you spot a fine woman sitting in your row. She's dressed in yellow. She says hello. Come sit next to me, you fine fellow. You run over there without a second to lose. And what comes next? Hey, bust the move. Just bust the move. In the city, ladies look pretty. Guys tell jokes so they can seem witty. Tell a funny joke just to get some play. Then you try to make a move and she says no way. Girls are faking, goodness saking. They want a man who brings home the bacon. Got no money and you got no car, then you got no woman. And there you are. Some girls are sadistic, materialistic. Looking for a man makes them opportunistic. They're lying on the beach perpetrating a tan so that a brother with money can be their man. So on the beach you're strolling, real high rolling. Everything you have is yours and not stolen. A girl runs up with something to prove, so don't just stand there and bust the move. Just bust the move. Break it down for me, fellas. Your best friend Harry has a brother Larry. In 5 days from now he's gonna marry. He's hoping you can make it there if you can, cause in the ceremony you'll be the best man. You say neato, check your libido, and roll to the church in your new tuxedo. The bride walks down just to start the wedding, and there's one more girl you won't be getting. So you start thinking, then you start blinking. A bridesmaid looks and thinks that you're winking. She thinks you're kinda cute, so she winks back, and now you're feeling really firm, cause the girl is stacked. Reception's jumping, bass is pumping. Look at the girl and your heart starts thumping. Says she wanna dance to a different groove. Now you know what to do, G, bust the move. Just bust the move. Move it, boy.
to blame. Among the broken mirrors, I don't look the same. I'm rusted from the rain. I'm rusted from the rain. Dissect me till my blood runs down into the drain. My bitter heart is pumping oil into my veins. I'm nothing but a tin man, don't feel any pain. I don't feel any pain.
Your thoughts will soon be wandering the way they always do. When you're riding 16 hours, there's nothing much to do, and you don't feel much like riding. You just wish the trip was through. Here I am on the road again.
So fucking what?